Good morning. This is Elena Lipson, your divine self-care mentor, and you are in the right place if you are wanting to attend the Sacred Rituals workshop. And it is 10 o'clock on the dot. I've just done my dancing and I've done my meditation. So I'm present and I'm ready to share some of my most juiciest, magical, and abundant rituals. And I'm not starting with music today because sometimes I get bumped off of YouTube when I have a song that I love. So I just danced beforehand. And so you're getting my energy. So welcome everyone. I can see everyone logging in. Hello, Kate. Hello, Jessica. Hello, Shannon, Karina, Christina, Elizabeth, Carol, Sherry, another Shannon, several Shannons, Mariana and Karen and Robin and Tamra. Let me know where you guys are from. If you know how to use a chat, please, first of all, let me know two things. One, that you can see me and hear me, because sometimes those technical gremlins will come into my webinar and they will just want to play. So please let's see. Let me know if you can see me and you can hear me. And I just want to make sure one thing that everyone can get in. Here we go. I'm just going to resend an email to someone who needs to get in, so that's done. But please, can you type? You see me all right? Hello from Brazil. We are totally international. I saw the signups coming in, and they were coming in from all over the world. Audio is fine too. Thank you so much. So tell me where you're from. Where are you coming from? We've got Brazil. We've got a big, wide breadth of people from Central California. Hey, Karen. Who else? Where are you from? I'm up here in Pacific Northwest, Bellingham, Washington, north of Seattle. I'm like caked in between Vancouver, BC, and Seattle from Salinas, California. Yes, I'm heading to California next week. Sherry, New York City. That's where I grew up, my hometown. Christina in Pennsylvania. Shannon, thank you so much. Audio is good. We always are wanting to make sure that you can hear me before I go ahead and start talking. Houston, Texas, awesome. Shannon, I have lots of friends in Texas now. I never even have been to Texas, but I do have friends there. New Jersey, Kate, awesome, awesome. East Coaster, whoop, I love the East Coast. It's my home, it's where I'm from. It's why I talk really fast, so I have to slow myself down. So I'm going to give everyone just another minute or two, because I know sometimes it takes a few minutes to get on and you have to kind of put in your information, and that's cool, but I want to make sure I honor everyone's time. I want this to wrap up in about 60 minutes. So if you can't stay for the whole thing, I totally get it. You'll get the copy of the replay, but if you can, there's some really fun stuff coming up. So is it Maridu? I don't know. I can't hear you, obviously, but I hope I'm saying it the right way. Brooklyn, yes, I grew up in Brooklyn. I went to James Madison High School, so I'm a Brooklyn girl here. Awesome. We've got lots of amazing people, and I see more and more logging in, which is amazing. I always am so grateful. Let's see. Okay, great. So everyone's in. I was just making sure that everyone can see. So where else are you guys from? Where is everyone from? Because I see more people here. If you can hear me and see me, tell me where you're from, and then we'll get started with the rituals, and I'll tell you more about me. It's sunny out here today, so I'm like enjoying this beautiful weather, and I'm actually heading to California next week for our yearly family trip to Orange County, so I can't wait to get some of that 86-degree weather. Yeah, that's pretty nice. It's 39 degrees here. So, okay, so here's how it's going to work. So again, you are in the right place. If you are watching this in the replay, or if you're here live, this is the Sacred Rituals Workshop. My name is Elena Lipson, and I'm the Divine Self-Care Mentor, and I'm going to tell you a lot more about myself, and I also want to learn more about you as we go. And I'm also going to be sharing some slides. Gig Harbor, Washington, awesome, not too far from me. If you are having a question in a moment while I'm sharing slides, I have my amazing divine team member, Kim, who's going to be letting me know if there's a question that needs to get answered right away. If not, I will come back to this chat box at the end and answer all of your questions. Everyone will be answered. I will not leave unless I answer all the questions, so don't worry. And if you're watching this in the replay, there's a place right below where you can still ask a question, send it on to me, and I will get the answer to you. So if you have a pressing question or something's not working for you, if for some reason the video gets stuck, you might have to refresh and log back in. Sometimes it's just a funky connection or a little bit of a hiccup. So let us know if you're having an issue. Excuse me. I need a little water already. All right, so it is now 10:05, perfect, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started. If you are not seeing me for some reason or having some sort of technical issue, just refresh your browser, log back in, you'll be able to see me and hear me. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my slides. Hey, Kim, I see you now. Kim is awesome, Team Divine here. So she will be able to let me know if one of you are having some sort of issue or if you have some question that needs to be answered right away about rituals. In the meantime, I'm going to head over to my slides and we're going to get started with sacred rituals and why did I spend 2 hours this morning doing my sacred rituals? I'm going to share all of that with you. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to make sure, let's see, Kim, will you let me know on messaging to make sure you can see everything? Otherwise, I won't know. So I want to make sure everyone can see it. Kim, just let me know if you can't. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and get started. So again, this is Sacred Rituals to Activate Daily Magic and Abundance. So just a little housekeeping for you. You should be able to see the screen in just a second. I'm going to give it another moment. The Google Echo screen should update in about 3.2 seconds where you can see the presentation. So just give me a thumbs up, Kim, when you can see it, and then we'll go ahead and keep going because I'm hoping that everyone else can. It's just one of those things that delays just a few seconds when I turn it on. So I'm going to go ahead and give you another 3 seconds. Let's see. Are we all good, Kim? Can we see the screen? And I want to make sure, not yet. Ooh, okay, you should be able to see it. I'm going to go ahead and pause just for another second to make sure that it switches over. But you should be able to see it if you're not seeing it already. Can you guys in the comments, can you please let me know, and Kim's going to see the comment, that you can see the PowerPoint or presentation or the keynote presentation? And if not, we need to make sure we can before I go on so that I'm not speaking into the wilderness. But if not, that's okay. I can still speak through it all. But let me just go ahead and go over a little housekeeping while everything adjusts. Sometimes it does take a few seconds. So if you are doing something else while you're listening to this, I totally get it. I'm also someone who likes to multitask sometimes, but if you are interested in really using sacred rituals in your life, in your business, just give yourself the gift of the next hour to be present, to really allow yourself to, let me see, Kim's asking me a question. I want to make sure, I'm just going to go back to the presentation. I'm going to present to everyone and let's see. Does that make it better? Let's see. Let's see. Sorry, guys, we're having a little bit of a hiccup. Does that work? Does that work for everyone? Do you see it now, Kim? Okay, so I'm going to keep going because, oh, darn, can't see it. It says presenting to everyone. So I'm going to stop it and start it one more time just in case. Everyone, okay, so Mariana was seeing it. So someone did see it. So let me go ahead and start it again and thinking that it will actually work. So now it says that I am screen sharing. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that, Kim, are we good now? Oh my gosh, see, technical gremlins, you just go with it. I'm going to go with it because really what you want to hear is my voice and my words. And if we don't get a picture, you know what, that's going to have to be it. But somebody was seeing it, so I'm going to assume that it's working now and go back into just the reminder of getting present, allowing yourself to listen with your heart and your mind. Again, if you have any questions, type it into the box on the lower right-hand side and we will make sure to get to it. So I know there's many of you here that I saw logging in and signing up that everyone does not know me. A lot of you know me, but not everyone. So I'm going to share a little bit about who I am. And can you please, for Kim, she can see the chat box, can you please let her know if you can see it, just to make sure that the Hangout is working and that you can see the presentation, so I at least have an understanding whether you're seeing it or not. So please in the comment box write, yes, I see it, or all good. We're going to have to just go with it right now. So again, I'm a Divine Self-Care Mentor. I am the founder of the Divine Self-Care Circle, which is a year-long journey back to you. I'm also a retreat leader. I'm actually heading to Costa Rica in a couple of weeks to host an amazing retreat, and then another one here locally, another one in Mexico. So that's one of my most amazing gifts that I get to share and to experience. I'm also a speaker. I talk about the art of self-care in life and business in the bedroom. I'm a co-author of 4 amazing books with this incredible group of entrepreneurs, and there will be another book coming out soon just by me, which is exciting. I'm also the creator of 66 Sacred Rituals and 21 Days of Self-Care. So this is the work that I do. This is the work that I do in the world all around making you your number one asset in life, business, and the bedroom. And there's more to me as well. I'm also a mom, and I am a wife, and I am a mama of a doggy. And again, I said I live in the Pacific Northwest here in Bellingham, Washington, where we've been raising our son. We consciously moved here when he was just a little bitty baby, and we chose to slow down our life, and we chose to really be present for our life. And so we moved away from Orange County, California, where we actually loved it. I love the sunshine there, but we decided it was time for a change. And we wanted to just really enjoy raising our child and being in a place where we actually have no TV, which is kind of crazy, though I do have my favorite Netflix shows. We spent a lot of time outdoors in those mountains that you see in the picture. There's Mount Baker, which is this beautiful skiing mountain. There's lots of hiking and water sports, and just we have this beautiful reserve outside of our backyard. So we spend a lot of time together and outdoors. We play Scrabble, we play cards. So we have a lot of family rituals that I'm going to share a little bit later as well. But we really have slowed down our life in a way that balances out the traveling and the work that I get to do and the hustle bustle of life that can take over and speed up your life. And so rituals are one of the ways that we actually help our life slow down. So I'm going to share that with you as well. So what is a ritual? I found this amazing quote that says, practices or rituals are habits and behaviors that we intend to be regular, giving structure to our lives and helping to cultivate the qualities we believe are conducive to a good, virtuous, and flourishing life, which is really like a great sum up of what rituals are. And here's another quote from the Yoga magazine. Through this process of ritual, we bypass the analytical mind and connect directly with consciousness via the heart. This is where communication takes place with symbol and sincerity of heart. Ritual is not an intellectual activity. It is trust in the creator, which, I just love this every time I read it, because really it is all about connection with yourself and with the divine guidance, whether you call it God or goddess or universe. It's really about having that connection, and ritual gives you that beautiful connection. So we already have lots of rituals in our culture that you may not have thought of as rituals, but human beings are so used to rituals. We have rituals around marriages, around birth and death and anniversaries and birthdays. These are just some of the ones that if you think about it and kind of step back and go, oh yeah, we do these things. We light candles for birthdays. We, bring a priest or whatever you call it to marry. Oh my God, I'm losing words here. We have people marry us and say vows, and we invite people to witness. And for births, we have all different kinds of, rituals depending on your culture, especially with death and, anniversary. Just think about it. How many things, like if you think about your family growing up or the friends that you know, every culture, every religion has their own rituals around these things. So it's sort of grounding into allowing us to be part of a community, right? So these are some of our cultural rituals that we have, but if you travel the world, every single culture has some rituals around these beautiful milestones. And so ritual plays a part in our lives already, whether we know it or not. We also have social and business rituals around sales. So for example, if you're, just think about going to the store, picking up an apple and going to the counter, giving money, and they give you a receipt. These are things that we do so mindlessly already, but we are taught to do them, and they're not done the same way in different cultures. Meetings, every culture has their meeting style. When I was in the corporate culture, when I was a corporate trainer, I remember having meetings about meetings where if we had a Japanese, visitor, we definitely look at them differently. We don't look directly in the eyes, and you shake hands differently, or, depending on where in the world you are, a meeting will look differently. Standing in line, if you're waiting for a train in India or in China, you're not going to be standing in the queue the way you might be if you're in Britain or New York City. You're going to be mashing in, and that's just a cultural difference. So the way we are consumers, the way we engage in conversations and listen, conversations look and sound differently depending on where you are around the world. So there's all these rituals that we are socialized into that we don't even think about that we do. So I want you to start seeing ritual as the things that are already in your life. And what we're going to be talking about today is layering really intentional rituals to create, manifest, to really call in that which you want to intentionally into your life. So why rituals? I've already started sharing with you the importance of rituals as they are in our larger picture in community and in the country and in the world. But your daily rituals are the ones that give you grounding, they give you meaning, and they give you rhythm, which are things that we as human beings crave. Rituals also help you create confidence in yourself, right? We go back to that divine connection. If you feel like you're being guided by something bigger than yourself, you're going to feel confident in a way that is really deep. And not to say that you won't experience fear or doubt or anxiety. All those things will still be there. It's totally natural. But which one is going to lead the way is going to be confidence. And of course, connection. I already showed you some of the social and cultural rituals that we have that connect us to society at large, where we can walk into the store and know exactly how to buy something. We know those rituals. But the ones about connection, this type of connection is the connection that really helps you to tie into your highest self, your best self, to the community around you, and to divine guidance. That's the kind of connection that I want to have in my life and that I teach through my programs and my writing. That's what rituals do for me. So as Albert Einstein said, there are two ways to live. You can live as if nothing is a miracle, or you can live as if everything is a miracle. And rituals actually help you to bring this sacredness to what you're doing. Even if it's just the way you're eating your meal, you can bring ritual to it to create a sacred space, to create a sacred flow, and to create a sacred environment. So why me? Why rituals? And why are rituals so important to me? So I remember thinking about 30 years ago when I was a kid and we were in Sunday morning breakfast, and I started remembering, and I wasn't just remembering with my mind, I was remembering with my sense of smell and my sense of vision and my sense of heart. And I can remember so clearly before my dad passed away and before my parents got divorced, we all lived together, and every Sunday morning we would have breakfast together. And it was this really interesting breakfast because so I'm Russian, I was born in Russia, for those of you that don't know. And we eat a lot of herring and like salads and just different kind of food. Then it wasn't like pancakes Sunday morning. It was like herring and potatoes and salad and all these Russian dishes. And here we are in America, and of course assimilating, and I'm in school and we speak English and do all the, American stuff. But in our home, there was this ritual that connected us to our background and to our heritage. And so it felt really beautiful. So there was several things happening. Our family was coming together around the table. We all helped make the food. The smells connected me back to my ancestry, to my roots. And we were like, having this beautiful little bubble of connection and ritual in my home family. And I can still remember that. And I recreate that in my own family now, not with herring so much. We make, pancakes and waffles and more Americanized food. But it's still a really beautiful ritual. And my son really, I can tell he's so lit up when we do that. And sometimes our schedule changes. So it's not always Sunday morning. Sometimes it's Saturday. We're flexible in our rituals. It's not about being rigid. It's about creating rhythm. And that's so I want to infuse my son's life with that and my life with it. And then also for my friends and my community around me. And when it comes to rituals in my business, they allow me to ground myself in my deepest intentions, to intend what I want to create, to envision it, and then take action. And I've got rituals around all of these things, which I'm going to be sharing a little bit later as well. And then I've got my divine self-care rituals, which, oh my goodness, I seriously don't know how I could operate a business and live my life without them. I'm going to be sharing my exact morning magic rituals, which allow me to be lit up, connected, inspired, and trust myself to the core, even when I'm feeling doubt. Because you're always going to feel doubt and anxiety, but those rituals bring you back to what's most important. And as I say at the bottom here, when you're truly connected, you feel more energy, you are powerful and centered, you're in flow, and you glow from the inside. That's what my magic morning rituals do for me. And I'm going to share my exact steps with you so you can create your own magic morning practice. True success comes from daily, consistent action. Imagine what life could be like with a daily built-in container in your life that's fully aligned with flow, ease, success on your terms, and peace. Every morning I wake up and I know exactly how my day is going to start. I always do my morning practice, even if I'm traveling, especially when I'm traveling, and I need to align my energy. It's almost like, imagine starting your day and having to start from scratch every morning, trying to figure your way through the dark woods, or knowing that you're going to wake up and you have a process that you walk yourself through, that you can trust yourself to keep your promises, to get aligned every day to what's most important, especially because all of this changes with time. And if you can stay consistent with your daily alignment practices and stay connected to your highest self and divine guidance, you are going to be able to pivot, to change, to whatever is happening in your life, you are going to be able to deal with it in an aligned way because you are present with yourself. Most people live in the past or the future. Daily rituals allow you to get present. That's the magic of it. Imagine a life based on connecting with your deepest rhythms, energy cycle, unique purpose, and role in life. One where you're immersed deeply in a sense of belonging and you're at peace with yourself and the world. This is what my magic morning practice does for me. This is what my daily rituals of taking my bath, of grounding myself in nature, of managing my energy, of resting when I need to, all of these things go into my daily rituals, and it really allows me to be peaceful in a sense of calm and really feel like I have grace. And that's a word that I hear a lot, like, oh, Elena, you look like you're so like just doing everything with such grace and calm. And I'll tell you, my secret is only because I have my daily practices and my rituals. Am I able to show up exactly as I am? That doesn't mean that my hair is always done and my makeup's always on and I'm always 100% relaxed. It just means that whatever is happening, I'm not resisting it. I'm not fighting it. If I'm tired, I rest. If I'm angry, I yell. If I'm sad, I cry. I'm with myself all the time. I'm present. I'm authentic. And when I get off track, I know how to come back. And that's what daily rituals do. How would your daily interactions be different if you had daily rituals? Daily rituals help you to stay present and centered. I already mentioned, when I'm feeling emotion, I feel it. We go through tragic losses, we go through arguments, we go through tearful moments, we go through celebrations. If we can stay present for it through ritual, and the ritual helps you actually stay present with your body, your mind, and your spirit, you can stay centered in whatever is happening. Again, it doesn't mean that you don't feel the emotions. Actually, it means that you feel them quite deeply and you allow them to pass through and you don't hold on to them. You will have positive and healthy relationships because you don't take anything personally, always do your best, be impeccable with your words, and don't make assumptions. Now, I read The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz for the first time when I was probably 21 years old, so almost 20 years ago. And it literally changed my life. This became a ritual reading for me every single year. I actually printed this out and hung it up on the wall. And one of my daily rituals included honoring my relationships with reading this every single day, reading the book over and over again, really savoring it, integrating it, understanding it at deep, deep level so that now I can, really trust. I mean, if you choose any one of these and make it a daily ritual to read it, any one, just one, it will change the way you have relationships with people forever. It takes away the wanting and the longing and the need that we have for other people to change in order for you to be happy. It just doesn't work that way. When you change the way you see other people, that's when they change. And the only way you can do that is through changing your mindset, changing your perspective, changing your lens. And the way I've been able to do that is to incorporate these philosophies into my daily rituals of mantra and reading and really doing and practicing those things that I believe are true and important for me. So this is one of those rituals that I will say will transform your relationships faster than anything else. If you just decide to not take anything personally, anything really good or anything really bad, and really trust that people are always acting either from their best interest, best intentions, or that they're acting from a place of fear or pain or anxiety that really has nothing to do with you. And you can imagine and remember a day where you weren't feeling good, where you were feeling off, and all of your interactions were just like, you were grumpy and you were just annoyed. And, especially if you're a parent and you have kids around you, I mean, come on, of course, like they're just innocent, peaceful kids. And if we're feeling tired or frustrated or hungry, we might take it out on them. I have done this many times, but I really come back. I come back to my personal rituals, like getting enough sleep, getting enough food, having, a bath when I need it, managing my energy and my perspective within my life so that I can then have relationships in my life that don't depend on other people's actions or emotions. So this is the one thing that I would say is a huge element of taking responsibility, but also being gentle and compassionate with yourself and trusting that, you know what, we're human, we make mistakes, we can come back to each other and apologize, we can talk. And, you know, a lot of what we do, a lot of the pain that we cause in relationships really comes on these expectations we have on other people of doing what we think they should be doing and they're not doing it, and oh my God. So if you start to take these perspectives around it, and if you haven't read the 4 Agreements, I highly recommend it. This is one of my most powerful rituals, which is reading books that inspire me, and this has been one of those life-changing ones. So I wanted to share it with you because I promised you to share with you how you can start to make changes in your own life that will change your relationships, and this is one of those things. So if you've read it a long time ago, reread it again, but don't just read it. Really take it into your practice and your rituals. Write it down, read it in the morning, you know, really talk about it with your friends and your partner so that you can all have the same common language. It really, really works. With those rituals, you'll be able to wake up with purpose, with intention, with connection and guidance that you trust beyond any external factors. You'll stop seeking opinions of others, which, oh my gosh, will kill your dreams faster than anything else. And you'll feel creatively inspired. When you wake up with these practices and rituals and you know that your day is going to be filled with this kind of connections, you're going to start trusting yourself. It doesn't mean that you're not going to ever seek opinions, because I do seek opinions from people that I trust, but I want to tap into what I believe first so that I can measure your opinion against mine and see if it feels good to my intuitive knowing. Most people start the other way around. They ask everyone around them what they think, and then they're so confused you can't even feel what you're feeling or thinking anymore. So start the other way around, and rituals really help you to do that. This is all about activating magic and abundance. And when I say magic, you know, I know some people have their opinions about it, but I love the idea of magic. I love magical thinking, and I love the idea of something beyond ourselves that we can tap into. So whether you call it divine, or whether you call it fairies, or whether you call it angels or spirit, whatever it is, there is something around us that we can't explain. I mean, if you live and breathe in the world, you must have experienced something that was not being able to be explained by just the you know, rational, what you can see and believe kind of moment. And then the abundance piece of it is really about, again, coming back to getting really, really present, looking around what you already do have and getting into that vibration of yes and magic and abundance. That's the place where we create from, not from lack, not from doubt, not from fear and scarcity. So these rituals really help you to tap into that. So rituals create daily magic. From a May 2013 article in the Scientific American titled Why Rituals Work, Francesca Gino wrote, "The symbolic behaviors we perform before, during, and after a meaningful event are surprisingly ubiquitous across culture and time. We are built for rituals." So here's a scientific article talking about the things that we do as human beings to make meaningful events really lit up with something more profound, with meaning. So this is where we're built to do this. We know how to do this. In that same article, Francesca continues, "I pound my feet strongly on the ground several times. I take several deep breaths and I shake my body to remove any negative energies. I do this often before going to work, going into meetings, and at the front door before entering my house after a long day." And I just want to pause and point out that this article was in a scientific magazine, and she's talking about removing negative energies, right? So it's not that it's like, you know, happening behind some closed door. Energy is a real thing. We can test it, we can photograph it, we can see it. Some people can actually see it, but we can all feel it. We all know what happiness feels like and sadness feels like. We know when we walk into a room and someone's just had a terrible argument, you can feel it. We can totally feel it, and rituals help you to tap into that, but also to manage the energy and really create rhythm and cycles around your day. It's really quite profound. This is a life based on sacred rituals. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So much of what we do creates energy, and unless we're conscious of it, we're going to have a hard time managing it. And rituals, sacred rituals, allow you to get present in each moment to notice. Because right now, go ahead and join me right now and check in. Take a nice deep breath. Notice, are your shoulders hunched over? Is your forehead crinkled? Are you sitting, too tightly? Are you holding your belly in? Can you just let go for a moment and just notice? Have a check-in with your body, get centered. Do a body check-in with a nice deep breath. Let your shoulders melt. Let your belly relax. This is just a simple body check-in, but it allows you to tap into your energy. Sometimes we're concentrating so hard on something in our mind, we forget to check in with our body. And if we just do that a few times a day as a ritual, as a body check-in ritual, you'll be able to really get present in the moment and pay attention to whoever you're talking to focus on a task at hand instead of being distracted. Rituals that focus on energy. According to Your Hidden Riches, which is a beautiful book that I was gifted by Janet and Chris Atwood, rituals that focus on energy are powerful tools, and all successful people have learned to harness them. Now, this is so true. I've interviewed hundreds of people over the last 10 years, all kinds of people, business owners, entrepreneurs, designers, all kinds of people, and they are all into some sort of ritual around their practices, whether it's a morning run or journaling. There's a plethora of rituals, and every successful person that I have spoken with has one, or at least one. More and more CEOs, business owners, and entrepreneurs engage in some version of a morning ritual that they have created to help them tap in, turn on, and get into their zone of excellence. Morning rituals are a powerful way for you to harness creativity, raise your energy, and get aligned with your intentions. If you had $5,000 to spend and you asked me as your coach, should I spend it on a tool or mindset, making yourself more lit up? I would say start with the mindset, because if you spend $5,000 on the best tools, the best platform, the best software, but you wake up in the morning full of self-doubt and fear, you're not going to do anything about that anyway. So the best place to start is your mindset, to really be able to tune in and turn on, getting into your zone of excellence, really recognizing what that is, so that whatever your materials, whatever your tools are, you'll have the ability to create something from nothing, even if you have nothing to start with. All you need is an idea. That's how the most amazing projects start, is with a simple idea and someone who is brave and confident enough to move forward on them despite the fear and doubt. Some more juicy tidbits from Your Hidden Riches. Their day, successful people, involve some key points, rituals, for maximizing energy with established habits that ensure that each one is attended to. So creating habits around the most important pieces of your day are so important. I have rituals around starting my day, around my to-do list, around the working on my computer, around client calls, around hosting webinars. I have rituals that I've created that help me to show up. And that's what I want you to have as well, because it really, really works. The women that I work with who are called to work with me are tired of being tired. They're tired of being overwhelmed and living in fear. My clients are ready to stop simply going through the motions in their life and business. They are ready to feel lit up again. Can you relate to that? I know you can. That's why you're here. That's why people are drawn to work with me, because I want to show a different way, a way based on ease and expansion. Not that it's going to be easy to create the life and business that you want, but you can create rituals and expansiveness around it that you can actually have some fun while you're doing it, because truly, what's the point if you're not having fun? Not 110% of the time, but a lot of the time. You can have fun even when you're challenged. You can really accept that fully and step into it. The most important benefits of sacred rituals are: you tap into daily clarity, time is taken for rest and replenishing your energy, and you build daily unshakable confidence. These are amazing benefits, and that I've found in my own life, that I share with my clients, that I share with the women in my year-long program. That's what I put into the 66 sacred rituals, which I will share with you at the end. I've taken all my best favorite sacred rituals and put them into one container. Exhaustion is also avoided. Mental alertness is maintained, which is what you need to stay focused and inspired. And again, that divine connection that lets you know you're not just creating something from the air, you're actually being guided, you're actually tapping into something, but that doesn't just happen. You have to consciously make the space and time for divine connection, and that's what rituals do. This is called self-mastery. This is really the ultimate that we could strive for, to master our own energy, to master our own mindset. That's where the magic happens. So this is me doing some of my rituals. Of course, I've got my goddess, which is actually sitting on my desk, Lakshmi, and then I've got this is Wise Awakenings, a beautiful local store that I go to get my crystals and my sprays and all the things that I need. And of course, on the bottom right, it's me creating my little work altar, which I love to create around me. Whenever I work, I want to be inspired by sacred beauty around me. So I promised to share my personal rituals. Now, they're not super complicated. In fact, they're super simple. And I teach them over and over again because I believe if you do any one thing, if you do this, if you start with a magic morning rituals, you can shift your entire day. You can start to tap into some of that inspired energy and that divine guidance that we all crave so desperately. So what I like to say is the way you start your day is the way you show up in the world. And that means to yourself, to your friends and family, to your clients, and to the world in general. So here are my magic morning rituals. So if you want to grab a pen and paper right now, it's a great time to do this. So my magic morning rituals. There are 3 main principles to my magic morning rituals. I want to make sure everyone's still seeing the presentation. Can everyone see my keynote notes? You guys, can everyone see it? I want to make sure because I'm getting a note right now that you might not be able to see it. Can you please leave a note on the bottom right in the chat box that you can actually see the presentation? Because if you can't see it, I want to make sure that I will change whatever needs to be changed. Can everybody see it? I'm going to log out of this just for a moment, everyone, and I'm going to go back to here. You haven't seen the presentation. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, you haven't seen it. This is not good. Okay, so I'm going to stop it. Okay, so I apologize, and here's what I'm going to do. So I'm sorry it's been like this. There's still more to go. I'm about to share my magic morning practice. I will send you my presentation notes, the entire presentation along with the email. I cannot believe that you haven't seen it. Some of you said you did see it in the very beginning, and some have not seen it. So you've missed all my amazing pictures. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm back. I'm here, but you haven't seen my presentation. I really don't know why that's happening. So I'm going to go ahead and, again, I'll send you the presentation links, but I want to make sure I go on with the content. So I am going to go ahead and try one more time. If it doesn't work, let's see. I can't drop the file right now, Kim. It's just going to, let me try one more time, and you can let Kim know if you can see it, okay? So desktop, start screen share, present to everyone. And back to my keynote. Can you please say right now whether you can see it or not? You can see it, Kim? Yes, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry. You know, I just wanted you to see, so everyone can see this. I'm gonna go all the way back through. Okay, so here's my sacred rituals. I wanted you to see this beautiful picture that somebody created. Oh my God, you guys, this is just how it works. So here's my son and my husband and my dog. We're just gonna go through this really quickly because this is just words. I don't want you to have to go through all the words again, but there's the quote that I mentioned. Thank you guys. You guys are amazing for staying with me because truly this is what can happen. And I just have to laugh because, oh my gosh, it just happened. So I'm so sorry that this happened to you, but I wanted to share, of course, here are the images. But again, as I said, I'm going to send you the file so you can look through it and really stay with what I was showing you, but you can see it now, so that's good. So my magic morning rituals, again, I apologize. I've never had one webinar that went 100% tech-free, tech problem-free, so I'm just going with it. This is just how it goes. You just have to laugh, take a deep breath, and keep going. Okay, so magic morning rituals, 3 main principles. Kim, you can see it? Yes, I see you're typing, but it seems, okay, so Kim says the next one will be 100% tech-free. Woohoo! Okay, here we go. 3 main principles of magic morning rituals. There is the mind, there is the body, and there's the spirit. So these 3 elements come together for you to start your day with intention, with magic, with abundance mindset, and it can happen in many, many different ways. So I'm going to give you lots of examples to try, and I want to make sure that if you have any questions about each one, I know last time I did this particular workshop, I had lots of different questions, so I will go make sure, do not leave, I will answer all your questions. So the first principle is to activate your mind. Daily clearing of the cobwebs and connect to intention for the day. Now, if you're like me, or if you're like the hundreds of women that I've spoken with, we all have this thing that happens in the middle of the night, especially if you're taking chances, if you're taking risks, if you're creating something in your life that is causing you to feel any sort of fear or anxiety. You wake up in the middle of the night and you're doubting yourself. You're hearing all of the fears and all of the reasons why you shouldn't, can't, and won't do the thing that you want to do. And it could be as simple as moving to a new city, starting or ending a new relationship, starting a business, writing a book, starting to paint, going to yoga, whatever it is. Our mind will come to our aid and keep us very safe. So what we want to do is we want to clear out all those cobwebs, not just ignore them or stuff them down, but to really give them a place to air themselves, to really allow yourself to acknowledge that it's okay. You are in fear and it's okay. It's totally natural. And so what I'd like to do is a daily practice that I adapted from The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron called the Morning Pages. And so all you need to do with the morning pages, and usually this is the first thing that I do, but you can really move these around if you need to. If you want to do body first and then spirit and then mind, as long as these three main principles are there, you're going to be amazing. So the morning pages are one journal dedicated just to my morning pages. And in that morning pages journal, I write several things. Sometimes I clear out my cobwebs. If I've had some funky dream or fears come up or what I'm doubting, I will write all that down. I'll just let it out until I feel I'm complete. And then it actually feels like a clearing. It's like having a really good conversation after an argument where you just feel the weight lifted off your shoulders. The other thing I do is I set my intentions for the day based on what I'm doing that day. And it could be client calls, it could be a webinar or workshop like this. It could be that I'm traveling or hosting a retreat, whatever it is, or it could just be a normal day at home. And I set my intentions. And I actually have learned to make my intentions pretty darn simple because it really covers all my bases. So sometimes it's just as simple as saying, my intention for today is to be present. My intention for today is to be playful. My intention for today is to be a clear channel for divine guidance for my clients and everyone I speak with. So something simple like that. And then the third thing I do in that journal is I start with my mantras or my affirmations. Like, I am organized, I am light, I am abundant, I am free, I am radiant. Whatever you want to feel that day, what are you calling in? And you can just take some nice deep breaths, and it doesn't have to be any specific way. There's no formula for this. So you can just write it as you feel it. And sometimes I'll say a beautiful mantra from a book called The Big Leap that says, every day I expand in love, success, and abundance as I inspire those around me to do the same. So I'll write something like that, and I'll usually write for a good 2 pages until I'm done. Some days, honestly, some days all I write is the word thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you over and over again. And because I'm calling in just gratitude and I don't really want to write and I'm feeling grumpy, so I'm just writing thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, and I can feel as I'm writing, and I can actually feel the cells in my brain, in my body starting to wake up, starting to get positive, starting to shake off sleep. So it's a really important element. You can do this. I have some clients who do it at the table with a cup of tea or hot lemon water. I personally like to do it when it's still dark in my room. I just put on this beautiful crystal lamp, and I just like to do it in that glow, in that sort of sleepy, magical morning hour when everyone else is still sleeping. That's my choice. You can do it later. You can go outside somewhere, go to a coffee shop. But I would say do it within the first hour, hour and a half, because that's really that morning energy that you want to capture. Then there is the body. And the body is all about igniting your inner pilot light. Something about starting your day without igniting your inner pilot light allows you to keep walking through your day with that, carrying that heaviness and that tiredness around. The difference between a day lit up and a day where you're dragging, like walking through molasses, is huge, especially if you're any sort of creative spirit, which we all are. So the way I like to ignite my pilot light actually changes through the seasons as well. During the summer, for example, I like to wake up early, put on my sneakers, and go for a run because it's just gorgeous out. During the winter, no way. I'm staying indoors. So I will do things like dancing. I will do things like Koya, Qoya, which I love. It's a sort of a combination of yoga and dancing and shaking off energy. Sometimes I'll just do a bunch of stretches. Sometimes I'll put on a song and just dance. But you want to get it to the point where you're feeling that warmth in your chest, where you're feeling that like just a little bit of heat happening, because that's an actual igniting of your inner light, and you can feel it happening. You can actually visualize it happening as well. And from there, from that place, that's when people start saying, wow, you look like you're glowing, and what's happening? And you're glowing from the inside because you're actually igniting your inner pilot light. And it's as simple as moving your body in the morning. Now, if you only have a few minutes in the morning, you can totally do this. You can put on one song and dance. You can do 5 sun salutations. You know, you don't have to have an entire hour for this. Now, I usually take an hour for my entire morning practice, but sometimes if I'm traveling or if I want to sleep in, you know, I will let myself do a shorter practice, but I don't skip it. I never, ever skip it, except for Sunday mornings when my son comes to cuddle in bed and we read a book. But then I just do it a little bit later. So it's just my own personal practice and preference to start my day with that kind of ritual in bed where I'm enjoying being a mom of a young child. So again, you're going to make this yours, okay? And if you have any questions about this, again, it's not any one specific way. It's just a general idea of igniting your inner pilot light. And the third and final principle is spirit. You want to connect to inner and divine guidance and learn to trust it completely. And the only way you can learn to connect and trust it completely is by coming to it daily. Now, this could be a really simple task, like sitting for 3 minutes with your eyes closed and taking deep breaths. It could be opening a book where you pray. It could be saying a prayer. It could be tapping back into your spiritual religious roots. Sometimes I'll open a book called Divine Compensation by Marianne Williamson, and she's got some beautiful prayers in there. Or I'll open a book by Tosh Silver called Divine Guidance, and I'll read a prayer from there. Sometimes I'll just sit and meditate quietly and just really feel into my body and do a body check, connect with my heart energy, or allow myself to feel like I'm covered in beautiful light from divine above, right? So really, again, this is going to be whatever your personal spiritual connection is. Even if it's as simple as sitting outside for 5 minutes and looking up at the sky and the trees and contemplating in silence just how grateful you are to be alive. Because truly it's a gift, right? The gratitude practice is woven in through all of this. So those are your 3 main principles. And again, no excuses here, okay? If you have 1 minute for each of these, 1 minute of writing in your morning pages, 1 minute of moving your body, and 1 minute of just silent breath work, you can activate a morning practice. Magic morning practice. I call it magic morning because I feel like it is my secret sauce. It's what allows me to show up. Now, would I be able to live my life and create a business and do all the things that I want to do anyway? Yeah, I would. But it wouldn't feel as lit up and as guided and intuitive as I feel now. It really helps me to connect to my intuition, to my highest self, to divine guidance, and to trust it, because things are going to happen. Tech gremlins are going to come. You know, you're going to have bad launches and good launches and bad days and good days, and all of it is okay. If you start to trust the journey, that's where the good stuff starts happening. You can start having a new lens on your life, trusting that things are happening for you, not against you. And that's really the key of this magic morning practice. The other piece of that is you start to really trust yourself and trust your own pace and stop comparing yourself to other people. That comparisonitis is just so insidious. There's definitely some good ways to compare yourself to other people, but most people do it in a negative light. And this kind of morning practice really helps you to get a mindset, because number one, if you're doing this, you're probably not starting your day on Facebook, which is the other piece. Like, try not to get on email or Facebook first thing in the morning. You're giving away your energy to what Facebook says or your email says, instead of starting it with intention and what you want to create in your life. Because listen, the next year is going to go by anyway. You can make it mindful, or you can make it just distracted. And I hope you choose that. I hope you choose mindful, and I hope that you take these rituals and start trying them. Keep that promise to yourself. This is one that's going to pay in dividends. The return on investment of starting a magic morning practice is, I mean, it's immeasurable, but you'll start seeing it and noticing it in ways that affect your relationships, that affect your energy level, that affect how you're inspired to take action in places where you might have not before. So if you have any questions on that, make sure that you are putting them in the bottom right-hand side. I will make sure I answer all of them. And I want to also share that rituals are not just for your life, they're also for your business. Rituals are powerful, powerful tools for growing your business. So I wanted to share some of my intuitive business rituals with you. These are things that I do all the time in different measure. So one of the first things you can do is set clear intentions for each day and each project. Each time I start something new, each time I have a new program or offering or retreat, I set intentions for that particular project. I start each day, as I already mentioned, with my intentions, but every time I create something new, it's like a living, breathing entity, and it wants to be recognized, and it wants to be honored, and it wants to be visible and seen. And so I create clear intentions for each new project. And the way I do that will change. Sometimes it's about starting a new journal for it. Sometimes it's about getting a flip chart out and doing a mind map. And I can share more about that if you have questions as well. I always connect with my why before I work out my plan for how. Most people start with how. They are like, oh, okay, I want to do this project. How am I going to do that? And then they start moving forward, and you'll hit a wall, and that wall is going to feel like a brick wall that you can never get through because there's no why propelling you forward. If you start with your why about that project, then it doesn't matter what brick wall comes up. You're going to figure your way to climb over that wall or go around it or knock it down, because the why is what keeps you going. Another one of my business rituals is to pause and play. Sometimes people get stuck in a question or in a place that they can't figure out, and then they just stop. I know myself, and I know the structure of my mind, and I know what works. Instead of pushing through, I choose to pause and play. So some of my tools have become going to jump on my trampoline, or going out for a walk with my dog, or just doing nothing, or just going to play, because I know that will put me back into my right mindset, and I'll always come back from a walk around the lake with some sort of idea. And so sometimes it takes 20 minutes, sometimes it takes an entire day. So I've learned to trust the pause. In fact, one of my mentors calls it pressing the sparkly pause button. So I've learned to really trust the pause, because sometimes there's another piece of the puzzle that needs to fall into place, whether it's a person or a book or a piece of information or something that needs to come into play before you can take action further. And I've learned to trust that deeply. And the final one is write it out, draw it out, play it out. So I love using markers and mind maps and really getting creative. Like, imagine when you were a kid and you were putting together some project for school, you didn't go straight to your computer if you had one back then. I had a typewriter. You grabbed markers and you grabbed thread and you grabbed paper and you started playing and you started drawing it. So that's the kind of energy that business rituals really can help you to ignite a little bit of that playful, childlike magic into the creation versus just going straight into linear thinking, which, yes, there's a time and place for linear strategic thinking, but the rituals bring a little bit of that playful magic to it. So a few more business rituals, and I won't go too deeply into all of these because I just want to, this can be a whole topic in itself. But just to give you an idea, I do energy clearing rituals around anything that I do. So things like saging, things like setting intentions in my journal and ripping the page out and burning it. I do like shaking rituals, just an intention of clearing space. Maybe if I have a new project, I'll clear everything off my desk as a representation of a new project, which is really powerful as well. Crystal grids, sage, visualization, all of this sort of magical element in my business, because I love it. It's fun. It feels good. It feels magical. It feels abundant. And then inspired action stirs the magic of momentum. When I have an inspiration in the moment, I want to make sure that I'm taking that action, whether now there's some kind of inspired action that will actually take you away from what you're doing, and that's more of a distraction. So what I actually also have is a journal where I keep my projects for the future. So like, thank you so much for this inspiration, but I'm in the middle of this project. So it's really a matter of like learning to really gauge, is this going to distract me and take me off course? Or is this really like a 11th hour pivot that I really need to do? And you'll learn that, because if you have your magic morning practice, if you're getting to know yourself really well, if you're connecting with your highest self, if you're taking guided, inspired, divine action, you'll be able to make this kind of decision without getting lost in the overwhelm of having too many things to do, which I know a lot of you deal with, because I hear you. You talk to me about it. The last thing is releasing meditations. Let it go and trust divine unfolding. There's so many release meditations, cutting cords and dropping into grounding meditations. You can just look those up. I have a bunch of them as well. I have some cool ones on my SoundCloud channel, which I'm happy to share with you as well. But really, release meditations, you can look those up and find one that resonates with you. Some other simple pre-game rituals like pre-webinar, pre-retreat, pre-workshop, pre-speaking. Here's just some of the things that I do. And I did some of these today. Pulled a card. I didn't use my pendulum this morning because there were no decisions to make. I didn't burn sage this morning, but I burned sage last night as I was setting my intentions for today. Light a candle of intention, which I did this morning, which is lit up right behind me. Ground and meditate, I did. Call upon guidance, I did. Open and close with gratitude, absolutely. Those are really powerful rituals. So are you curious about rituals in your life, business, and the bedroom? I hope you are by now. I hope you can see the magic that you can generate with rituals. So I want to take a few moments right now, and if you've been here up until this point and are learning, asking questions, I'll be back to the question box in just a moment, but I wanted to share with you sort of the culmination of how I decided to create this 66 sacred rituals. I've actually been hearing the whispers of this for almost a year, and I couldn't quite figure out what it wanted to be. And I sort of thought maybe it's going to be a morning magic practice course, or maybe it's going to be something different. I couldn't quite hear it. Do you want to be a book? Do you want to be a program? Do you want to be a retreat? And finally, one morning, a couple months ago, I literally just had this flash of insight, and I thought, oh my gosh, 66 sacred rituals. I know exactly what it's got to be. And I literally, this was in the shower. I was having a shower, and I actually had this ritual that I was doing in the shower called the chakra shower. And I just made it up on the spot because I thought, oh, it would be so nice to clear my energy centers. And I just sort of imagined the water as light filled with water, or water filled with light. And I allowed it to go through all of my different energy centers. And I'm like, oh, chakra shower. And then as soon as I thought the words chakra shower, I had that flash of insight. And I realized this was one of the sacred rituals that I wanted to share because it allows me to cleanse and release. And I literally had to get out of the shower and grab my journal and write down, I think I wrote down in that first stretch, I wrote down like 30 rituals. They just poured right out of me in that moment. It was amazing and totally divinely inspired. And then I knew that it was going to be a course. I knew that I wanted to do it as a group because things done in circle are so powerful. And I literally 2 or 3 days later, I put together a video. I created a logo. It happened with such ease and grace that I couldn't even imagine that it was me doing everything. Within days, I had an entire course ready to go. I launched it. I put up a sales page, and dozens of women came, and it was amazing. I only thought it was going to be 12, but I think it ended up 26 women joined, and it was really beautiful. It's a very engaged group. All the rituals got really great feedback and testimonials, which I'll share with you right now, but I'm doing it again. I'm going to do it several times a year because it was really one of the most powerful programs that I have run. And the feedback was like, when is your next one? I want to do it again. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it again. I love doing it. I love hosting it. So we're starting on February 14th. I thought it would be a beautiful day to do it because we're all about love and really let's go away from the store and the cards and really focus back inward. And how can we cultivate love and compassion in our own hearts so that we can just shine it out to the world instead of once a year with cards and whatever. Now, I love chocolates and cards and all of that, but this is real work. This is the work that will change everything else. So what's in the 66 Sacred Rituals course? There are 66 rituals to help you activate your intuition. You'll receive a daily email with an audio prompt and instructions. You can listen online, or you can download it right to your phone or to your iPad or to your computer. Each ritual takes less than 5 minutes to listen to, but then you have an opportunity to make that ritual a quick one, or you can make it expansive and make it an actual some self-care time for yourself. Really make it your own. There's also a secret Facebook community for group love and support, which is amazing. And here's my favorite quote, which I have to share during every single webinar I do. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to bloom or blossom. And that's by Anais Nin. It's hanging on my wall. It's everywhere. This is the quote that keeps me moving forward. So I wanted to share some of the love and testimonials that I received from our last round of 66 sacred rituals. Renee says, I had a transformation tonight while driving home from work, and I have this group to thank. Lisa F. says, feeling so thankful for this course and my renewed commitment to self-care. In the past 2 days, I listened to numbers 1 to 43. She was so far behind. And she says, I'm setting my intention for new daily rituals. I'm already doing some of these, yay, that I learned through IIN, but I'm upping my game. So that was awesome. And she was so funny. She was totally behind, but caught up in all of them, which was great. I really enjoyed the effectiveness of this ritual and how easy it was to incorporate into daily life. Definitely one for my toolbox, says Lisa B. And again, you can download them, so it's not like it's one and done. You can listen to them over and over again. And here's some more testimonial love. Karina says, I really love this ritual because I can use it in my work. I meet and interact with a lot of people daily and in a field that already carries a lot of energy. This will be a go-to ritual for me. Thank you, Elena. And then she also says, today's ritual was different, nonetheless powerful. An intimate power emerged during that practice. Felt tingling in my hands as if they were ready to create something cool, something so cool. And so the rituals, and I'll share a little bit with you that, like I've already told you about the chakra shower. There's also one called Walking with My Mentors, but some of them really address your energy center. So this one that she was talking about was this really sort of sexy meditation in your root chakra that everyone loved. I loved creating it. It was so fun. I can actually feel it tingling right now. So it's really awesome. And then Nettie says, I also want to share that even though I was really drawn to this course, I was a little apprehensive that it would conflict with a bigger year-long deep practice I am just embarking on. But I'm actually finding that they complement each other beautifully. So if you're already doing something else, this is something that will, again, layer into your life as a daily practice that will help you start creating rituals. So it's going to enhance anything else you're doing, not compete with it. So here are some of the details. Again, it's a 66-day journey. Why 66? Because that's how it was given to me, and that's how I'm giving it to you. Trusting divine guidance, right? So it's $195 or 3 payments of $65, which you can choose on the sales page. Again, we start together as a group on February 14th. This is not a self-guided course. We are doing it together. Your email will arrive every morning into your inbox. And again, that private Facebook group where I will help guide you on the journey. So I'll be there. You'll have access to me all the time. So are you ready to join me? Do you have any questions? Saying yes to you activates the universe in magical ways. And this is a truth that I have found over and over again. The second you say yes to yourself, it just changes things. It makes you feel differently about yourself and the possibilities. So this is what it looks like, 66 sacred rituals to activate daily magic and abundance. Again, we kick off on February 14th. I invite you to say yes to you and join us on this journey of activating magic and abundance in your life to tap into confidence, clarity, and connection. So now it's time for some Q&A, and here's some of the last round Q&As that I received. So I want to make sure I answer these as well. So I send out the ritual each morning at 2:22 a.m. So even if you're in a different time zone, you'll receive it first thing in the morning. Can I pay in installments? Yes, you can pay in three $65 payments. How long will you have access? These are yours to download. You will have them forever. Can I download? Yes. How long is each recording? Again, each one is less than 5 minutes. And the funny thing is, some of them are like 4 minutes and 44 seconds or like 2 minutes and 22 seconds. And I couldn't have planned it. It just happened that way. So the whole darn thing was divinely guided. How are they delivered? Again, you receive an email. The email will give you a link directly to a page, a private membership site where you will go in and you'll start seeing all the rituals. I post them one day at a time, but they're in 22 recording blocks. So once they're up, and you can download it at any time. What if I skip a few days or longer? You can totally skip a few days. You can catch up. They're not like something that, oh, if you miss one, you have to listen to that before you listen to the next one. Some of them do build on each other, but truly you can just download it and listen. Like Lisa said earlier, she was way behind because she was traveling and then she got hurt. She just listened to a bunch of them at a time and picked the ones that she wanted to do. So you can totally do it that way. I design it to be day by day, but you can really do it. Like I'm going to be traveling to Costa Rica for 7 days, so I won't be listening to those, but you will. So you'll get to decide how you interact with them. So I truly, from deep down in my heart, know this is a life-transforming journey. It's simple, it's powerful, it's created from my heart to yours, and I truly, truly hope to see you there. So now I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to stop this. And again, I just want to say thank you so much for bearing with me. That was so crazy. I was going through half my presentation without you seeing it. So I do apologize for that. So I will, again, make sure that I send you an email letting you know. So I'm going to just go through. Okay, so any questions about any rituals, any morning practice? I'm going to go ahead and put this offer up right now. So you guys who are so excited, I'm so excited to have you. You can enroll now and you will be added to the Facebook group on February 14th. You will, can you guys all see the picture there? I want to make sure everyone sees it. Oh, thank you so much, Teresa. Yes, Christina, it happens to all of us, doesn't it? Mariana, thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad for those of you who stuck with me through that techie craziness. I just want to say thank you, because I've been to presentations before where tech stuff went down and it was all crazy and chaotic, and I know how it feels to, arrive somewhere and everything's like, what's going on? So thank you so much for bearing with me. Thank you, Kim, for hanging in there and letting me know. Any questions? I'm going to hang around. It is 11:05. That's perfect. That's exactly when I wanted to end. I know there's about a 5 to 7 second delay. So if you have any questions on morning rituals, on the course itself, on anything that happens within the course, any business ritual that I've told you, any magic morning ritual, let me know. I'll be here for 5 more minutes or so. If there's more questions, I'll definitely stay longer. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I didn't miss any questions. I don't think I did. Green smoothie pick, Teresa. Yep, that was the green smoothie pick. I was up there. Oh man, I can't believe I was there for so long and I didn't see it. This is why I need 2 computers. This is it. I need 2 computers. Okay, so yeah, you're so welcome, Karen. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. I'm so excited. So if there's no questions, that's totally fine. I think I did a good job of explaining everything, and I'm going to make sure that, again, I will attach the presentation for you. If you don't want it, don't worry about it. You don't need it. But if you want to go back, okay, Mariana, how much do you feel it's important to be up in the morning? I love my morning phases when I wake up super early, but I have also been enjoying the quiet solitude of late night work. What's your take on that? Honestly, this is so personal. So mine has totally ebbed and flowed. If you can believe this, I'm actually a morning person and a night person. I love it. I love the nighttime. I love the solitude of the evening. I love the morning because it's so early and I have my personal time. So for me, it's a matter of getting enough sleep. So right now, my life is sort of guided by getting my son ready in the morning. So for me, I know I have to get him up by 6:45. So I decide how much time I need. And I usually wake up sometime between 6 and 6:15. Then I wake him up. And the cool thing is, everyone, so my son has been watching me do these morning practices for 8 years now. And last year he said, Mom, when I woke him up one morning, he's like, Mom, why are you so happy when you wake me up? And I'm like, well, by the time I wake you up, I have done my morning practice. I've written my journal, I've danced, I've meditated, and I've gotten dressed, and I feel so happy. Or maybe I didn't get dressed yet. And he's like, wow, I want to do that too. Those weren't his exact words. I can't remember what they were anymore, but he said, I want to take a bath in the morning. So you wake me up early so I can lay in bed for a few minutes and then take a bath. And he does every single school day, y'all. This is a 10-year-old kid taking a bath in the morning. So here's a really, really good reason to do a morning practice and to do rituals, because you don't have to tell people around you that you're doing them, but they're going to notice and they're going to ask you, and you're going to start rippling out this beautiful positive light and energy to those around you, the most important people to you. So it's really, really important for you to understand that the self-care rituals and the sacred rituals that you're doing for yourself are going to influence those around you. So to answer your question about the morning versus night, you're going to know that for yourself. You want to maybe try like maybe waking up 15 minutes early and seeing how that is. Maybe like, wow, I really like that. That felt good. I want to do more. Maybe I'll go to sleep a little bit earlier, because don't sacrifice your sleep. Sleep is so, 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 so important for hormonal balance, for mindset, for everything, for health. So I would say just play with it, just see, because I have nighttime rituals too. So both are important. So I've learned that for myself, I need to start my workday with this morning practice. So for me, it's important. So Mariana, you're going to have to really decide that for yourself and see what works for you, right? This is a flexible practice. It's not like you have to do it this way. It's not rigid. Mariana, of course, this means my morning ritual is actually pre-lunch ritual. Yeah, like I said, that works for you. I tend to think if you're doing it within the first hour to 2 hours of your morning, you're capturing that morning magic. But there's also things I do, later during the day. So just find out what works for you. I'm not telling you you're right or wrong. Just find out what works for you, okay? Are any of the rituals religious? No, absolutely not. No religious rituals. I do talk about divine. Again, that's how you perceive it, how I perceive it. I don't have any specific spiritual thing that I teach in terms of religion at all. I believe that rituals can benefit everyone. Hey, if you've been into a synagogue or a Catholic cathedral or a church, everyone has rituals. So it just depends. Like every culture, every religion has rituals around what they do. You're just creating some of your own daily rituals to help you tune in, get connected, get confident, all those good things. So no, non-religious at all. So thank you for asking. It's a great question. Yes, non-religious. Let's see. Samira, can you share on grounding meditation that helps you? The most powerful way to ground, and I know you've heard me share this before, Samira, is to really get into your body. And one way that I love doing that, of course, is to get barefoot and get on the ground outside if you can. But a great grounding thing to do is actually to find a way to get into your legs. So one of the examples, one of those quotes that I read during the presentation was how she stomps on the ground a few times. And that actually is a really, really smart thing to do because it actually brings your attention down to your legs and your feet and your thighs. So even if you try it right now, like just stand up and stomp a few times and get into your legs or do some squats, it actually gets you grounded into your body. And then of course, the most simple thing that you can do to get into your body is to become conscious of your breath. It's the simplest thing to do. If you, I know there's a lot of great apps right now. There's one that's called Stop, Breathe, Meditate. I think it's called Stop, Breathe, Meditate. There's hundreds of them out there, but it gives you these daily reminders where you can go in. And actually, I use my Google Calendar as reminders. So at noon every single day, I have 4 of them actually, but the one that comes up at noon is a question that asks me, what's the most nourishing thing you can do right now for yourself? And sometimes it's go outside. Sometimes it's drink some water. Sometimes it's dance. Sometimes it's call my mom. So, it's about awareness. It's about using external triggers. Grounding is one of these things. Sometimes there is another thing that I do, which I know you might have heard me talk about before, which is laying flat on the ground for 5 to 10 minutes quietly with no music on and just letting your body settle. It's actually a very, very powerful grounding technique. It's also a balancing technique for your hormones and for your energy centers. So you just lay flat for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, put on a timer, no music, just quiet if you can do it. So another one is legs up on the wall. It's a great one too. Even some sun salutations are great also. So, okay, the offer is up. If you're ready, grab your spot. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be an amazing journey. I always over deliver, so I'm sure I'll throw in some bonuses. I want to make sure that you guys are getting this. This is really, really important to me, and it was so transformational for the women that were in the group last time. So do you have any more questions? Because we're definitely over time, but again, I'll stay here until you have questions. So do you have any more questions? Thank you, Kim, so much. Kim's going to say goodbye. Thank you for being there. I love it. Sorry again for the confusion there. Okay, so if there's no more questions, and if you're watching this as a replay, and if you have a question, make sure you write it in there. I have activated the question box, so I will receive it. Otherwise, the cart closes on February 13th at midnight. So grab your spot, grab a friend. I actually have some women who are doing it as mother-daughter teams, as friends. So grab someone and do it. And in fact, if you sign up live on the webinar in the next few minutes, I will send you, this is only if you're on live, you will get a bonus ticket spot for someone else to gift to someone in your life. So this is for the next 5 minutes only, and only if you're on live. You get a free spot for someone that you love, and you make sure you let me know that you, and I'll be able to tell the time that you registered. So it's 11:13 right now. So for the next, I will stay until 11:20. So for 8 minutes, if you are here, and if you sign up, if you click enroll now before 11:20, then everyone who enrolls from this particular live webinar will get a free spot for someone that they love. So you'll get to invite a best friend, a sister, a spouse, all of it. Shannon, whoo, you're in. You got one. You got a spot for your whoever. Let us know who that is. And basically the way that works is I will send you a private, secret, ultra top VIP link that you will be able to gift to someone else. One, that's it. So anyone else, again, there's 6 minutes left to that if you join live. And if you have any other questions, if you're like, ooh, that sounds really, really good, I want to do it with my bestie, or I want to do it with my sister, Teresa, awesome. So if you, welcome Teresa, welcome Shannon. You both get a free ticket to share with someone in your life that you love. And I know there's sometimes that I join a course and I'm like, oh, I just want someone that I can do it with. If I didn't do it alone, you know. And again, you won't be alone. You will be with a group of amazing women who are going to be doing it all together, and the support in there is incredible. I'll be asking you to post pictures, and I'll be doing all that kind of stuff. So Samira, Clarity, thank you so much. You're so awesome. Samira's in my year-long program, which I love having you there. So again, it is 11:14. You have 6 minutes, and I'm just going to hang out, answer questions. Let's see what I can share. What else I can share? So yes, you get a ritual every single day. Maybe I can share one of my other rituals. Ooh, I'll show you one of my rituals right now. So I am getting ready to write some really fun stuff. And so what I've been doing is every night I charge my pen. This is my magic pen. And it says, write it down on there. It's this gorgeous pen that I got at Anthropologie. And this is a citrine, which is known for abundance and prosperity. And so when I'm done writing with this, now this is the pen that only writes my intentions and on very specific projects. This doesn't write my grocery list. This doesn't write anything else. So I literally will put it, I totally created this ritual because it's fun, and I put it on my citrine. So to me, in my mind and in my heart, I actually feel like it's charging my pen with citrine power. And so when I use it, I feel like everything that I'm writing is actually quite infused with magic, right? So that's a ritual that, you know, is super, super simple. And I invite you, like, once you get into these rituals and you learn my 66 rituals, start creating your own. You know, talk about like Sunday morning breakfast or Friday night pizza. Those are family rituals. But what about yourself? Like, what fun rituals can you do? Maybe it's like this is my power necklace and this is my power ring, right? So I have things that I do to make myself feel how I want to feel and show up how I want to show up. So those are some fun rituals. I'd love to know if you have any rituals. I can see some people you're still here. Lots of people still here. So again, there's 4 minutes left to enroll. And to get a free spot. And again, this is only for people who are live in the next 4 minutes who are coming on to sign in. Awesome, Shannon. Yes, definitely let me know. And I can see Shannon, welcome. You signed up. That's awesome. Teresa, so you are definitely going to get those free spots to give away. So all you need to do, and I'll prompt you with this, I'll send you an email. All you need to do is reply to my email and let me know who you want to gift it to, and all I'll need, I can send it to them as a surprise gift, or you can send it to them. So that's something you can totally do. So you just let me know. There's 3 minutes left to get, I usually have a little timer on, but I didn't want to click the timer. I want you to look at me and just see me and all of that. So the offer is still up. You have 3 minutes to grab that free ticket. I'm going to grab a drink of water. And again, if the pricing is an issue, you have three payment options, which are totally fine. If you click on the little link, you'll see it on there. So let's see. Okay, so I don't see any questions coming in. There are 3 more minutes, and I think what I'm going to do is just put on some music. No, I can't put on music because then YouTube won't work. So thank you. I want to close out with gratitude. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for bearing with me for the technical difficulties. If you are watching this as a replay, I hope you stuck all the way through the end to see that the keynote presentation actually did work. I think I might have to do a little bit of an encore performance this week before the cart closes, just to make sure that everyone who wanted to be here was here. And again, I'll send the slides out for those of you who want it. You can take a look at it. If not, don't worry about it. I hope you got all the information that you wanted and needed. And if you have any questions that you walk away with, please let me know. And now I want to close out with a beautiful Lakota prayer. And again, if you are still thinking about grabbing it and getting a free spot for someone you love, or surprise somebody for Valentine's Day, you have 2 minutes to do that. While you are deciding and enrolling, I will go ahead and read this closing prayer. Whew, here we go. So I invite you to just close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath as you listen to my words. Great mystery, teach me how to trust my heart, my mind, my intuition, my inner knowing, the senses of my body, the blessings of my spirit. Teach me to trust these things so that I may enter my sacred space and love beyond my fear, and thus walk in balance with the passing of each glorious sun. We part in gratitude. Thank you so, so, so much. I'm going to go ahead and close this out, but if I see that you enrolled over the next few minutes as I close out, you will still be the beneficiary of a gift to give someone for a Valentine's Day gift that they join you on this journey of 66 sacred rituals. It is really powerful, really beautiful, and I do invite you to consider this a gift to yourself and a gift to someone you love. So, thank you so much, and I will see you next time.